Good morning. I thought today I would come to you and show you the 5 Tibetan rites. So what are the 5 Tibetan rites? Well, I learned of them from Ben Greenfield, and I highly recommend you check out Ben's website, bengreenfieldfitness.com. His podcast, the Ben Greenfield Fitness Podcast, phenomenal. That's where I first learned of this, and it has become a part of my morning protocol ever since. So I would say that I have done this every single morning from Colorado to Mexico to Dallas, Texas, all over, no matter where I am. This is the way I have started my day every single day for at least 6 months or so, I think. And the idea is from, so there was this book that was written years and years ago. I will put it in the show notes, which book it was, that this guy, he's over somewhere in India and he comes across all of these lamas, think Dalai Lama, these monk type figures. I guess they actually were monks. And they all had this really youthful look about them, and they moved with youth, but some of them were really old, but yet they were very youthful in their appearance and their actions. They even spoke as though they were more youthful than what their age would indicate. And so as he started to study them to try to figure out what their secrets for youth were, he realized that they did this thing called the 5 Tibetan Rites. Now there's actually a 6th rite, but because they were monks, they wanted to lead a celibate life. So being married and actually wanting to have another child, I don't do the 6th rite. I don't even know what it is. And so it doesn't apply to me. So I only do the 5 Tibetan rites, which are the ones that, as you do a YouTube search or a Google search, the 5 primary rites are the ones that you're going to learn about. And what they are, it's kind of a way to just get your body going, get your blood flowing, get you a little bit warm and loose for the day. It has a real yoga type feel to it, as you're going to see. And I thought I do this every single morning, and I would go ahead and it's something that I have absolutely adopted as part of my normal protocol. I didn't want to do a video on it until I knew it was something that was going to stick, and it definitely has. I mean, my morning does not start without this. So I just came back from about a 2-mile walk to get the day started out in the sunshine, and then now this is what I'm going to do. So here's another thing. I'm only going to do 10 rounds of each of the exercises. 21 is the recommended dosage, I guess. But you just start out with 5 even, 10, 15, work your way up. Because the first one you'll see, it kind of makes you dizzy. It's kind of like spinning. And, I had someone that kind of said this is kind of like spinning a centrifuge or something. It's kind of like your body. You start with a spinning move clockwise. Now, I've heard counter and clockwise. So if you are an expert, by the way, I am not a yoga expert. I am not an expert at any of this. This is just something that I learned from Ben Greenfield. I apply it to my protocol, and I'm doing it. But if you see me do something wrong, feel free. Put it in the show notes and say, hey, Jason, you got this wrong. This is what you should do. I'll research it. Also, I think it's called The Wake Up Revolution is a book that describes this, as well as some other rites that have the same effect that I'm going to also show you that I've added to my morning routine that are not part of the standard 5 Tibetan rites, but they're ones that I have adopted and added on. And I will also give you the name of that book. I want to say it's The Wake Up Revolution, which is the book that lists not only the 5 Tibetan rites, the history of the rites, but also these other moves. So with that long description, let's get started. And I hope you guys can see me okay on this. All right, so first of all, this is kind of the thing to wake up. And by the way, I hate being dizzy. I can't stand it. I was the kid that would always avoid any ride at the Carnival or Six Flags or anything that made me dizzy. But this is part of the protocol, and I think it really helps with maintaining balance and creating balance. As you get older, one of the things that you've probably known from your grandparents and other ancestors is that as we get older, our balance tends to fade. So this will help with that. So first of all, hold your arms out directly like this, head high, look off into the horizon, and spin clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, you can do that 21 times for the full protocol. That's what it's really called for. Next, lie flat on your back. Hands to your side. Your legs straight. They're going to come up. You're going to meet up, and it's going to be a J. You're going to create a J with your body. So just up. 1, 2. Wish you guys could hear all my vertebrae popping. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, you would do that 21 times to do the full thing. We're only doing 10 today. Now the next, those of you who have done yoga, you'll recognize this as resembles a camel pose. Now, for those of you who have never done any kind of yoga, and this move can be really kind of almost scary. When you start leaning back like this, you're like, whoa, can't get that. It's okay, it's cool. Just go back, just get a little bit of a stretch in your back. But I'm relatively flexible in this regard. So what I've actually tried to do to get the most out of this move is to actually start leaning back a little further, like kind of almost doing an exaggerated camel to try to really loosen up my core, get some lower back work in, and just really, again, the whole idea of the Tibetan Rites, it's not a workout. This is not something that you're going to do and call it a day. This is just to get you started for the day, to get your body alive and awake, which that's another thing that is really important that I have taken from looking at Ben Greenfield's work as well as some others, is that I used to go right out of bed, straight to the ice shower, and into this garage and jump on that Peloton for at least 45 minutes. First thing, just basically just kind of shock my body, really like that. And so instead of doing that, now what I do is I just kind of ease in, let your body acclimate, manage the light that you're taking in. In fact, the first light that I try to get is sunshine instead of blue light, because that puts your cortisol levels, higher than they need to be. So anyway, ease into the morning, and that's part of it. Okay, so you keep going. All right, so just do it back. Then you kind of let your hands slide down the back of your leg and back. If you need to brace yourself with your lower back, no problem. That's cool. Just do what you can. Breathe. 4. 7. 2 more. 10. All right, there, that's 10. I'm gonna move the camera over just a little bit because the next move, I absolutely do not want you guys to catch a shot up my shorts in case that happens by accident. That would be really horrible. So that's for both of our sakes. All right, next, legs straight out, really flat, straight, sit up high. And you're gonna go into a tabletop. I am horrible at tabletops, but I have improved on this. Now, I had surgery on my wrist whenever I was a kid, when I was in high school. So it took me a while before I could really hold this pose with any sort of comfort. If you have a carpal tunnel syndrome issue or something like that, or just maybe some tendonitis, make a fist. I mean, it gets kind of tiring to hold, but that's perfectly acceptable if you have bad wrists. So when you start talking about Tibetan rites and monks and stuff, it's almost like if you do something just a little bit off, you almost might do more damage from the universe than what you would have otherwise. No, it's not like that. So anyway, all right, so feet straight out, and then move forward into a tabletop, head back, and then down. And again, 10 times. 21 is the full, but we're just gonna do 10, 2, 3, Don't make fun of my terrible tabletops either. I know they're terrible. And that's 10. All right, now for the final rite, this will look very familiar to those of you who have done yoga. Start in basically the equivalent of a downward dog position. Get your ankles as close to the floor as you can manage. And then come down and look to your left on the first one. And then to your right on the next. And alternate each time, looking left and right. Just come up. Cobra type move. To the left. Downward dog. Down. Look to the right. I've lost count, I'm going to be honest. So if I'm off on this a little bit, you guys know. I think that's 6. And then I always end with kind of a little bit of a child's pose, just kind of stretch out my lower back, which by the way, if you're like me, I'm 46, I'm getting old. My lower back tightens up more than I'd like it to. So this really helps to start the day with kind of warming that up. Now, that's the 5 Tibetan rites. So if you want to know what those were, you can stop right now. But this is some more rites that are listed in the Wake Up Revolution. Ben Greenfield adopted them for his protocol, and I'll admit it, I'm a bit of a fangirl when it comes to Greenfield. Whatever he does, I know he's researched extensively, and so if he does it, then I'm like, okay, well, I can't stop at just the 5 rites if Greenfield's doing that stuff, so I tend to do the same thing. So there, I admit it, no shame. So here's what you do. Just go to kind of swing your arms, loose, good twisting motion, slapping the opposite lower back side with the opposite hand. So the right hit the left side, left hit the right side. Just kind of do this little helicopter operation. Again, 21 times, okay? And in this next move, I think is one of the best things you could possibly do. If you did nothing else, just started your day like this, right when you hop out of bed, give yourself a little lower back massage. Make through this, kind of rub on your back a little bit. That is phenomenal. Now, if you read Wake Up Revolution, which I have not, I'm going to get the book, I'm going to read, just get more in-depth detail on this. A lot of these moves, they actually have to do with waking up your inner workings, your intestines, and different, I think some gland activity that this kind of gets rolling early in the morning. That kind of, again, this is like a warm start from the inside out. It's like Imagine massaging your body from the inside out first thing in the morning to get it prepared. I just love the concept of that. That's one of the reasons why I've adopted this, especially as I get older. Okay, next, one of my favorite moves. Get your legs away. And you can actually, I know whenever I do this, my veins start to rise. Actually, so that lets me know I am increasing blood flow in my legs. Again, just to warm them up. I don't know about you guys, but I'm terrible at warming up and stretching before I get started. And so this just kind of put me into a discipline of actually getting my body ready for the day, for my workouts, just whatever life holds. Okay, then do a little tapping right below your navel. This is the part that's like to start getting your intestines and all those funky parts in there that you don't see. Kind of getting them ready. Just do a little massage, and then right here below your rib cage, do a little tapping like that. Kind of get all of that. Start waking up, and then get your Tarzan on with a little bit of an ohm. Did you know that ohms are actually to massage the inside of your body? I didn't know that for like a couple years ago. I just thought it was some mystic moaning or stuff like that. Okay, now, some little leg lifts. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10, and kind of a little Richard Simmons type operation going on there. All right, so, and this next one is one of my favorite ones. Seeing what it did to my legs to bring blood to my legs, I think this is one of the things that I like the most as far as waking my face, which, again, never thought about until I started doing this. A little tapping on the forehead, on your temples, and all around your eyes. Start waking that up. Just getting going. And again, there's a lot more in-depth explanation for this and what's happening. But for me, I just like it. It feels good. I know it's good for me, so I'm going to do it. Then, right here, tapping along your collarbone. A little bit of tapping. All right? And then the final of the extra rites. And by the way, there are more that you can do in this protocol, but this is what I do. The next one, this is the best one. My wife, she sees me do this in the backyard or when we're on vacation on the beach or something. She sees me do this and she goes, man, I have a weird husband, which is pretty accurate, but this is my favorite. Just let your body completely go loose. Shake your arms. If you ever wondered why a dog, when they're dry and they get out of a tense situation, like they get out of the car or something to that effect, or if you've been holding them tightly for a while, what do? They get out and they shake. You know why? It's because it releases that tension. It helps loosen your central nervous system. It helps you to relax. And that's what you want to do. At the end of this, you want your body to be completely warm and relaxed and ready for whatever else you're going to do. This does not replace a full-blown stretch. This does not replace actually getting your body ready for a HIIT workout. But I guarantee you, if you will do this, I have learned that this has been a great protocol just to get my day started. So with that, some of you may think this was a terrible example of the 5 Tibetan Rites, and that's okay, because there's a ton out there on the web, on the interwebs to check it out. Go look at Ben Greenfield's video. That's a good one. You can also print out, don't have to worry about trying to memorize and go back and watching my silly video every time. You can actually go print out the 5 rites to see what they are to pin on your wall, because for me, I mean, it just took me a while of doing it over and over and over before I'm like, oh, what's next, what's next? So I hope you find this helpful. It is hot in this garage in Texas this morning, on this August morning. But I got my 5 rites in, so now it's downhill from here. Hope you have a great day. Go crush it. Thanks for checking this out. Oh, and subscribe to the channel, please. Thanks.